How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Biblical Truth Central. I'm your host, Brother D. And I'm here to provoke some thought. Not really trying to make this channel reminiscent of a political channel. You got plenty of those channels out there that you can go to. If you want to talk politics, if you want to talk left, and if you want to talk right, you got plenty of those channels. But in this particular video, I just really want people to think. I want you to think about the direction that the United States of America could potentially be going. I want you to really think about that for a second. You have to wonder why there is this obsession with gun control. You have to wonder why there is this obsession with banning certain weapons. You have to wonder, why is it this obsession of magazine capacity, aka how many bullets that you have in a magazine? Why is it an obsession of gun confiscation? Why is it the left is pushing so hard for this? Why? What are they up to? What are they trying to achieve? What are they trying to accomplish? Why are they trying to disarm America? I started thinking about Nazi Germany. And I have been asking this question for quite some time. How did a single person, that being Adolf Hitler, rise to power and got into a position to where he dictated who was worthy of living and who should perish? How did this person get in that position? Like I had always been curious about the origins of the Holocaust. Like I'm certain that he didn't just wake up one morning and decide that he was going to rule Germany with an iron fist. That's not the way that the world works. How something like that occurred, which to me is the most horrible event that has taken place to date. The way that they treated those people like nothing. I watched videos of bodies being thrown on top of each other in piles. Just horrific images. And I always ask myself, how did this start? How did they get to a point that they allowed this to happen? And then I started researching and I started looking things up. And it's not like they just let it happen. It all started with political agendas that began with gun laws. I was reading an article here that was posted in 2015. And it's called, and it's on the website called the Independent Institute. And the title of the article is, "Yes, Nazis disarming Jews did make a difference." That's a very powerful title. The Nazis disarmed the Jewish people. They disarmed them. They backed them into a corner. They made it to where they were unable to fight back. They were unable to defend themselves. They made it to where they just had no choice but to surrender. And we saw where that led to: the slaughter and the destruction. Not ultimately, but really devastating attempt. Destruction of the Jewish people. You know, Ben Carson brought this up. He said he's a Republican candidate, if you don't know who he is. And it says here in this article that he mentioned, you know, by the liberal media for the ninth time for observing the number of Jews murdered in the Holocaust would have been greatly diminished had the Nazis not been able to disarm them. I do remember Ben Carson saying that if they hadn't disarmed the Jews, there would not have been millions of them dying. Trust me, they would have fought for their lives. He says there's a reason that there's a dictatorial people that take guns first. It just really brings things back into centerfold. Like, why is the left so obsessed with messing with the Second Amendment? The Second Amendment is what keeps this country together. It is what keeps people safe at night. It is what keeps people confident. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I told her the police don't save anybody. They don't save anybody because you call the police, you're in trouble. There's a bracket time period to where between you call and when they arrive, and then the crime is in process. They never really catch the criminals in the act. They always come to investigate, to render aid, and then conduct the investigation, looking for the suspect. They hardly ever get them in the process of breaking into somebody's house. They hardly get them in the process of raping a woman. They never really get them in the process of molesting a child or kidnapping a child. They just don't, they're not there because they're not just around the corner waiting for this to happen. There's a time where the civilian needs to be able to defend themselves. And the Second Amendment is what's doing that. It's what's giving us the privilege and the blessing, I'll say, to be able to fight back. I always say shoot first, ask questions later when somebody breaks into your house. In 1931, Germany, Weimar Republic, discovered plans for a Nazi takeover in which Jews would be denied food, and all persons refusing, listen close, refusing to surrender their guns within 24 hours, they would be executed. So it was either you gave up your guns or you would be executed. Take away your food. Take away your guns. If you don't, they'll come to your house, kill you and your family because you won't give your guns up. Folks, I ask these questions because I'm getting that feeling right now. I'm getting that feeling that if the left get into power, they're going to try something like that. That they're going to try to implement some sort of law that prohibits people from utilizing guns. And don't say it can't happen, because I'm going to read a little bit more of this. It says, over the next 5 years, Germany's society was cleansed. Let me know what that means. By the National Socialist regime. Undesirables were placed in camps where labor made them free and normal rights of citizens were taken from Jews. The Gestapo banned independent gun clubs and arrested their leaders. Gestapo counsel Warner Best issued a directive to the police forbidding issuance of firearm permits to Jews, which means that Jews did not have a right to have a firearm permit. They could not bear arms. They were not able to purchase firearms. They could not have a permit saying that they could have a gun. They just were completely bare-handed, and they didn't stand a chance. In 1938, Hitler signed a new gun control act. Jews were prohibited from the firearm industry. The time had come to launch the deceitful blow to the Jewish community. in order to render it defenseless so that its ill-forgotten property would be redistributed as an entitlement to German folk. German Jews were ordered to surrender all weapons, and the police had the records on all who had registered them. I don't know. I really don't know if you're paying attention right now to all of the implementations that potential VP Harris has for these guns. I have a feeling that she's going to try very hard, if they happen to win, she's going to try very hard to put something into motion similar to this. The 1938 gun law that Hitler signed. Gun control, prohibiting firearms for Jews, prohibiting participation in the industry for Jews, confiscation of weapons to the Jews, and tracing back the registration, even the legal guns, to those who have purchased them with their hard-earned money, taking those away too. So those were some of the first people that they found, with the individuals like myself who legally owns firearms. My question is, what does that do for criminals who have illegal weapons? What does that do for criminals who have stolen their weapons? What does that do for criminals who don't follow the law? What does that do for them? I mean, you can put all the laws into emotion that you want to, but the only people that it hurts are law-abiding citizens. It does not hurt criminals. Criminals gonna do what they want to do. They're hoping that something like this happens so they can continue wreaking havoc. This is a pretty long article. I'll put it in the description so you can read it for yourself. And I'm gonna read the last bit. It says, Ben Carson's words are historically accurate. It cannot be denied that gun control facilitated the disarming of political opponents and Jews in Nazi Germany and helped Hitler accomplish his horrific goals. As for those who would register and disarm American citizens today, the history of Nazi Germany teaches a lesson that should never be forgotten. Folks, that is the take-home message here. What happened in Germany should never, ever happen again. That needs to be a lesson for every country around the world. Leave people's firearms alone. Don't mess with the Second Amendment. Do not vote for somebody who is going to attack the Second Amendment, people. Please. History has a horrific habit of repeating itself. If it happened once, it can happen again. When I say the Second Amendment is under fire right now, it is under fire. And now more than ever, we need our weapons. Because the signs of the times are evil right now. We need to protect our families from these thugs, from these criminals. Protect our families from these individuals who seek to take things that belong to us. This ain't the time to be giving up no guns. And if I know American citizens well enough, they're not giving anything up. Not without a fight. God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to put the article to this in the description. Read it for yourself. Let's not let history repeat itself. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a like. Share it with somebody. God bless. Peace.